Step closer. It's time for terror and tales. The haunting of the Titanic. The Titanic has been resting at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean for over a century, but tonight, on the eve of its anniversary, the ghosts of its passengers rise once more. Trapped in the ship's eternal grave, they are caught in a nightmarish loop, repeating their final moments, unable to escape the cold, dark abyss. The story follows Jack Dawson, who wakes up in the grand ballroom of the Titanic, disoriented. The last thing he remembers is sinking into the icy waters after saving Rose. But this time, he isn't dead. Or is he? Around him, the ship is intact, but there's something wrong. A darkness that clings to the walls, a coldness beyond the frigid Atlantic air. Jack calls out for Rose, but the echo of his voice returns distorted. He stumbles through the ship, passing by eerily quiet corridors. The once luxurious dining rooms are empty, plates still set, as if waiting for passengers who will never return. The chandeliers sway gently, though there's no breeze. Jack's urgency grows. He rushes to the deck, where he finds Rose, standing at the bow, looking out over the endless black sea. But when she turns, it's not the Rose he knows. Her eyes are hollow, her skin a sickly blue, and her voice whispers like the wind through a tomb.
Jack, why didn't you save me?
Confused, Jack insists he did save her, that she survived. But as she approaches, her form begins to flicker and change, revealing the decaying figure of a drowned corpse. She reaches out for him with icy hands, their touch freezing his skin, and Jack stumbles back, horrified. Suddenly, the ship shudders as if hit by an unseen force. The lights flicker, and the sound of water rushing fills the halls. Jack realizes the ship is sinking again, but this time, it's sinking into something much darker than the ocean. Shadows writhe like living things, crawling up the walls and consuming the ship, dragging it down into a bottomless pit. Desperate, Jack runs through the sinking ship, dodging twisted versions of the passengers he once knew. The captain, iced black and soulless, stands at the helm, steering the ship into the abyss. Crew members are now skeletal figures, their mouths agape in silent screams as they follow their eternal orders. As the water rises, Jack finds himself back in the ballroom, but this time it's flooded, and the once beautiful decor is decayed and crumbling. He sees Rose again, floating just above the water's surface, calling his name. Her voice is sweet, almost too sweet, but Jack knows it's not her. He realizes that the Titanic is a prison, a ghost ship trapped between life and death, and all aboard are condemned to relive their final moments forever. But Jack is different. For some reason, he's not like the others. He wasn't meant to die here, and that's why the spirits of the Titanic want him. As the cold water envelops Jack, he feels his heart racing, a mixture of fear and longing propelling him forward. The shadows claw at him, desperate to pull him into their icy grip, but he fights against them, driven by a singular desire to find Rose. The water darkens around him, and just when he thinks he cannot hold his breath any longer, he sees her. In the distance, a soft glow flickers through the murk. As he swims closer, the light brightens, revealing Rose standing on the edge of the submerged ballroom. Her hair floats like golden seaweed around her, and her dress flows gracefully, ethereal, and haunting. She looks just as beautiful as he remembers, yet there's a weight to her gaze that pulls at his heart. She whispers, her voice barely above the sound of the rushing water. There's an otherworldly quality to it, as if she exists both in this realm and the next.
I thought I lost you.
His heart aches at the sight of her. He reaches out, desperate to close the distance between them. But the cold water seems to create an invisible barrier. Tears blur his vision as he takes in her features, the way her eyes shimmer with the faint glow of the ghostly light.
You shouldn't be here. You deserve peace.
No, we deserve to be together, he pleads, his voice trembling with emotion. I couldn't save you then, but I can't lose you again. I refuse to let this be how our story ends. Rose steps closer, her form flickering with uncertainty.
This place, it holds us captive. We are bound to relive our worst fears. I was lost in the depths, Jack, and I thought I would never see you again.
Jack's chest tightens with grief. But I'm here now. You're not lost. We can escape this together. Just hold on to me. He reaches out again, his fingers brushing against hers, and the world around them seems to tremble with the force of their connection. In that moment, the shadows recede slightly, revealing the ballroom's once lavish decor, now coated in a haunting beauty. I promised you I'd never let go. Tears spill down Rose's cheeks as she steps forward, finally within his grasp. Their fingers intertwine, and a warmth spreads through him, pushing back against the cold that surrounds them. Never again, Jack vows, pulling her close. We're stronger together. I won't let go, Rose. I will find a way to free us. As they hold each other, the shadows begin to swirl around them, swirling like a tempest. But this time, they stand firm, their love igniting a light that pushes back the darkness.
Together,
She echoes, her eyes locking onto his with a fierce determination. With renewed strength, they begin to swim toward the glowing light, their hearts beating in sync. But as they move, the voices of the lost whisper around them, filled with despair and longing. "You can't leave us," they cry, a chorus of sorrow and anguish. Jack looks back, feeling their pain, but knowing they must break free. "We will remember you," he shouts, feeling the weight of their collective tragedy. "You won't be forgotten," and with that promise, they dive into the light, feeling the warmth envelop them, pushing through the barriers of their haunted past. As they break the surface, the darkness fades away, and the Titanic dissolves into a mist of memories, leaving behind only the echoes of their love. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for your daily dose of terror. This tale ends, but the terror lives on. Your turn. Suggest a story for our next tale in the comments.